Hi friends, it's Carolyn Zook here with C Zook Stitch, and today is Saturday, June 20th, 2020. How it got to be June 20th already, I have no idea. I feel like March and April went so slow, and then May and June have just sped by. But I'm really glad you're here. Thanks for stopping by and spending part of your weekend or week whenever you're watching this with me. I got a haircut. I'm so excited. So I live in Portland, Oregon, and our county just entered phase 1 yesterday. So phase 1 is where salons and barbershops and restaurants at 25% capacity and all that can begin opening. And my hairdresser and I have just really been picking random dates throughout the whole stay-at-home orders. Hoping that we would be open by then in time to get the haircut. And then when we realized that we weren't going to be open in time, we would just move and pick another random date, And it just so happens that the random date we picked was June 19th for the, I think, third or fourth time. We were talking about that yesterday, how many times we moved it. But it worked, and so I got in on the first day. And, I had grown to like my hair a little bit longer over the quarantine. And my hairdresser said that she heard that from a lot of people. That a lot of people were kind of like, I'm ready for a little bit of a change. So she didn't cut it nearly as short as she normally does, but she took a lot off. So I have really thin hair, but I have a lot of it. So she just kind of shaped it a little bit. I've since obviously slept on it. But the curls are kind of back, and I just feel a little bit more like me. So I'm really, really happy about that. So that's some good news from this week. So I had a question I wanted to kind of explain a little bit, a question in the comments on the last video. So Elizabeth asked a question about the Hawk Run Hollows. So on the Hawk Run Hollows, each block is its own separate chart, which is really nice because that means you can pick and choose. If you don't want to do the whole thing, you can pick just the blocks that you want and just stitch on those. But one of the things that she noticed, and this is true, is that the symbols aren't necessarily the same on each chart. So while I haven't gotten far enough on any of my Hawk Run Hollows yet to really have it be an issue, the symbols can be different on each chart for the colors. So she asked, with the thread keeps that you're using, how do you label for your Hawk Run Hollows if the symbols are different on each chart? So I have pulled out, so this is, and you'll be seeing this in a minute, this is my Spring at Hawk Run Hollow chart. And these are my thread keeps that I get from Amazon. I love them. I talked about them last week in last week's video. And they're just plastic. You get something like 18 in a pack. I have 4 packs. And I leave the top row blank so that my extra floss that isn't fully used up has a place to live. And I just use these garage sale labels that are removable. You can also use painter's tape or anything that's removable to label the floss number. Now, the way I do it so I don't get confused or have to relabel it for each new chart is on the back of every chart, they give you the floss list for the entire project. Okay, so it is charted for MPIs. I'm doing DMC conversion. Okay, so this is what I use, and I put it in numeric order. And this is what I use to kit up my whole kit. So I kit up the entire thing at the start. And then, and I don't use the symbols. I just use the DMC numbers. Okay, I'm only using the DMC numbers. So I know that, so for spring, there's 28 colors maybe? So I have my colors all on the 3 floss keeps, and I just search in numeric order for the color I need. On each chart, I'll show you the chart, but you have a floss list. Each chart has this, so that it will show you the symbol, it'll show you the MPIs, and it will show you the DMC number that you need. I keep meaning to, I just haven't done it yet, but I'm going to go through and just highlight the DMC column because I get a little confused. So I just look I just look for the symbol and which color I need, and then find the color in my floss keeps. It goes pretty quick. And, you know, after a while you get to know certain symbols and what their colors are. So that's how I do it. I don't use the symbols. I just use the DMC numbers. So I hope that helped answer your question, Elizabeth. If it isn't clear, or if that wasn't actually your question, just let me know and I'll be happy to explain it differently if that didn't address the question that you had. So thank you for asking that. So let's get into the no finishes this week and no new starts. Surprisingly, it's been a while since I've been able to say that. So first up, I did Farewell to Anger, which is my Hade, one of my Hades now, I guess. This is beautiful, and I'm starting in the upper left corner, and I'm really struggling with this right now. Really struggling. This is a 25 count Lugana 1/1, and it looks fine, but I'm off pretty significantly somewhere, and who knows where. I tried to correct it, and it's kind of at that point where the more I try to correct it, the worse it gets. So I did finish up this diagonal. I started another diagonal, and you can see I kind of ripped out the stitches because it's just so off. And I don't know, I have so many hours already put into this, but in the grand scheme of things, I'm at maybe 1%. I am considering pulling it and starting over. I think a magnet just fell off here. But I don't know. That kind of kills me too. I don't know what I did. It's off. The number of stitches in the row is somehow off. Somehow a row was skipped. I don't even really know what the issue is. And for me, 1/1 is quite hard to see kind of where I'm off and how to get to it to frog it. So I did not get 4 hours on this month because I just needed a break. We needed some space, and I need to figure out what I'm going to do. I'm really sad because it is so many hours, and I know it's not as many hours. I mean, this isn't that much that's been done, and I don't know how or why or what happened. I know it looks fine, but when you compare it to the pattern, I don't know. So if anybody has any suggestions, like I really think, maybe I can start by just taking out one diagonal. It's really hard to take out a diagonal when it's 1/1, and I'm just not as this is my first real 1/1 project, so I'm not as adept at it. But so I don't know. And because I park threads somewhat, not terribly, but so maybe I'll just start by taking out a diagonal and seeing if I can figure out exactly where I went wrong instead of scrapping the whole thing. But that doesn't really make me want to pull it out and work on it, unfortunately. So I don't know. I think I got 2 or 3 hours, maybe 2.5 hours in on this. I just had to put it down because it was not making me happy. So I don't know. So if anybody has any advice or suggestions, if you've miscounted somehow, even with using Pattern Keeper, so I don't know what I did. If anyone has any advice, I am open to your thoughts on that. Okay, I'm going to just drop it behind me there. So that's Farewell to Anger. We're kind of taking a break for a bit. All right. Temperature Tree by Stitching Mommy. This is a temperature tree. So each branch represents 1 month, and each leaf represents a day. And I am stitching the high temperatures for each day in Portland. And it's funny because when I started this project, I thought, okay, well, what am I going to do if I take a trip somewhere? What temperatures am I going to want to stitch? Am I going to want to stitch the location where I was and somehow mark that this was a trip and this is where I was, and that might be kind of neat to kind of track your vacations. Or am I just going to do it all in Portland? Well, as it turns out, we have a global pandemic, so I'm not going to be traveling probably the rest of the year. So that fixes that for us. And this is on a 32 count light blue Lugana. Every time I say 32 count, I think, or is it 28 count? I might be telling you wrong. I keep saying 32 because that's what's in my notes, but there's part of me that thinks this is 28 count. But I don't know. So I just did the next few days up here on the branch in June. We are kind of getting to that upward cusp, and once June is over, we'll be going on the other side of the tree. So this is really fun and exciting. You can see we have so many of these greens, which is, I think that's like the 61 to 64 degree highs. So that's great. That works for me. I don't like it really hot. So that works great for me. So that's fun, and that's going well and making progress. Now, spring at Acorns Hollow. So I just showed you this chart, but let's take another look. I have completed this top border, and I am working on this first block. My goal for this month is to get that first block done. It'll be a challenge. I'll say that. I'm stitching this on a 32 count vanilla latte by Be Stitch Me. And this is where I'm at on the first block. It's quite big. They're 92 by 92. I would be further along, except I got all the way to here and realized I was 2 stitches off. So I had to rip out all this border and start all over again. And that took like 3 evenings total because I had stitched it, had to rip it all out, and then restitch it. So all that work was probably 3 evenings worth that I kind of got behind on. But I did get the kind of, this is like supposed to be like a brick around the window. And so I got the mortar, if you will, in there. So I just have to fill that in. And then there's birds and a window pane and whatnot. So, and this is quite, it's a lot. It's like a few stitches with a lot of color changes. So I'm hoping the rest of it will go a little bit quicker. But we will see. It is fun. I really, really like it. These colors I would never think to put together, but it works. And I'm really enjoying stitching on it, even though I had to frog. But I'm really glad I did because it would be bugging me for a long time. What I had done is over here, I forgot to carry that light green down. And so everything was shifted. All the bricks were shifted over by 2 stitches, which meant it wouldn't line up properly on this side. And I'm using the DMCs, like I said, so it calls for MPIs. I'm using the DMC conversion, and it's great. And I'm really loving it. I'm hoping I'll get this done this month yet. It's the 20th, so I still have 10 days. So we'll see how much progress we can get on that. But it is a really fun. I love my Acorns Hollows, as you know. That's it. That's what I worked on. It doesn't feel like a whole lot. Because a lot of it was frogging this week. I frogged on the Farewell to Anger. I frogged on the Spring at Acorns Hollow. It was just kind of a tough, stitchy week, and, it's just kind of demotivating a little bit. I did get a few things in the mail that I would like to share with you. So I got an order from, let me pull this up, 123 Stitch. Their shipping seems back to normal to me because it came very, very quickly. I'm not going to go through all this, but this is all the floss for Christmas at Acorns Hollow, which we are starting July 15th. So if you want to join us, get your stuff ordered. 123 Stitch had all but about 4 skeins of floss that I needed. So, yeah. I'm really looking forward to starting this. And I ordered a piece of Be Stitch Me fabric, 32 count vanilla latte, which is what I'm doing all the Acorns Hollows on. It's a great, and it kind of looks like the piece that this is stitched on. The called for fabric is 40 count exemplar from Lakeside Linens. I'm not doing 40 count. I know it will be massive, but I just don't think I can do 40 count. At least not for a piece this big. So I got all the DMC, and in addition to DMC, it does call for soap. One soap, you need 2 skeins of it. There you go. So it's a mint frost, I think it's called. Mint frost from the Thread Gatherer. So, yeah. So that came in, so I'm happy about that. And in that order, I finally remembered to order a snag nabbit. Actually, I got 2, just in case. I've never used one of these, but this is to help you when you have snags or to readjust any of your threads. One side is pointed and one side is kind of like ribbed a little bit. And you can see on the back what you do is when you have a thread that you need to push back down, you take the pointed end as though you're just stitching, take the pointed end down through the hole, and the ribbed end will pull the snag back down into the fabric. So we'll see how that goes. I know a lot of people use it and love it, so I just picked up a couple for my stitchy bag. Seems like a great tool to have. And that's really all I got from 1-2-3 Stitch. I know, no, I didn't even add in any charts or anything. Can you believe it? Because I did some serious damage at another shop called Love You More Studio Co. So I'm sure a lot of you have heard about it. I will link it down below for you. You want to see the damage I did? What? Okay, hear me out. So what these are book sleeves. They're intended to be book sleeves or iPad covers. That's what they're intended for. Some people, I know Michelle Bendy Stitchy uses them for small projects. So you can use them for that. That could fit in there. Now, they don't secure shut. There's no zipper. There's no magnet. There's no closure. Right? So, you just want to be aware of that if you're going to travel with something or something falling out. What I thought I could... So, you can definitely use them for that, and I'll go through these. But what I wanted to use them for is because I have all these big projects with all these thread keeps. Some of these Acorns Hollows, so the spring one, which has the least amount of colors of the Acorns Hollows I'm doing, has 3 thread keeps that I'm using. And they're just a lot in the project bag. So I thought, well, if I can contain them a little, and, it is a little bulky because the thread is in there and it's a little bulky. But this at least keeps it kind of contained. And so I know that this is my thread bag. So that's my intended use for these. Now, this is the standard size. They have a standard size and then they have a larger size. So you can see the difference. Here, you can see the difference. So I got some of each just to try out. I do think a larger size is what I would prefer, especially if I have about 4. If I have... This will be good, especially for 2. It'd be great for 2. Not that you need this. This is just purely an accessory. So for 2, this is really great. 3, it's a little bulky, but if that doesn't bother you, that's fine. But I think any more, if you're using these thread keeps, any more than that, you will want to go the size up for the larger size, which is only a few dollars more. So I want to show you the pattern. So like I showed you this one. This one is which I'm keeping my spring threads in. You see the inside fabric. And I think it'll be okay. I think it'll be okay for me with the bulkiness. Okay. So that's spring. And then here are the 2 others that I got of the smaller size. I got this beautiful pineapple. It's kind of like an iridescent. And then the inside fabric is this pretty gold stripe. And then I got the Halloween one, which I think the Halloween one has 4. So this is probably going to be too small for my Halloween at Acorns Hollow, but I'll figure something out. I can use these for projects as well. So these will not go to waste. I just wanted to try them out. Then I got this beautiful poppy. So this is the larger one. And then the inside, look at that inside fabric. Isn't that cute? I just love the fabric. That's part of it, right? I just love this fabric. This is a really pretty fall. It's a fall plaid. And then the inside, you can see those leaves. This is also, so the rest of them are the larger ones. Got Christmas one here with these cute Christmas ornaments. And the plaid, the diamond, argyle, I guess. I got this one, another Christmas one. And I think I have a bag, a Garan bag that matches this pretty closely, if not exactly. And then the inside is this like silver, just swirls. It's very pretty. So we're going to have to pick one for our Christmas at Acorns Hollow threads. And then I got this. I have this fabric in my stash. I was going to make a cover out of it. A cover for my scroll rod frames, but I haven't done it yet. And then look at those seashells. I think that's such a good match. So, and they're just really nicely done, and they're padded. So if you are a book lover, I also have been wanting one of these for my iPod as well. So I might use like kind of this one for my iPad, especially when I travel, more so when I travel. If I'm just at home, it's fine. But so I got that. So I'm very excited to have a good stash of those. Love You More Studio Co. Okay, giveaways. So we have a lot to give away. We have 2 weeks worth. Since I didn't give anything away. Well, not last week, but the previous week. So those of you who won giveaways last week, I haven't mailed anything out yet. This week was very, very busy, just with work and life and everything. So I will be putting things in the mail hopefully this week. But first up, we were giving away Lizzie Kate. A lot of you wanted this Tiny Tidings. A lot of you wanted this one. And the person who won was Pam DeCavitt. So Pam, I do need your address. So congratulations to Pam. I think there's like 75 people who wanted that one. Next up is Lizzie Kate, the little stockings. Aren't those cute? And the person who won that is, it's either I Hoove or One Hoove. Hoov. So I definitely need your address. You can email me at czookstitch@gmail.com. And this one comes with the charms and a button. So I can get that shipped out to you. The gingerbread cookies from Fancy That. Joe Ogle, you won this. And Joe, I need your address. Silver Bells. Sheila Burton, you won this. Or is it Shelia? See, Shelia from Sunshine Stitchers has me rethinking everything I've ever known. Sheila or Shelia Burton. And it's so funny because we communicate all the time in the comments and on Facebook and whatnot. And we were so looking forward to meeting each other at StitchCon. And of course that got canceled. So we're looking forward to next year. But it's so funny because it's like, well, I've never had to say your name out loud. And we never actually spoke in person, just online. So I'm so sorry. I'm not quite sure how to pronounce your name. But you won this. So congrats. And I don't think I have your address. So if you want to send me your address. And I'm sure she'll tell me how to correctly pronounce Sheila or Shelia. All right, so Fancy That. This is Let It Snow. Patty Smith, you won this, and I do have your address, so I will get that in the mail to you. And then we have the work baskets. We have Proverbs 3. Patricia Ferry, Ferry. Patricia, you won this. So I do need your address. If you'd like to send me that, I'll get it out in the mail. And last but not least from last week, we have Proverbs 5. Lynette Peters, you won this, and I know I have your address. And I think you won something last week, so I will stick both of these in the package for you. So those are the giveaway winners, so congratulations to everyone. And then this is both giveaway and happy mail. So my good friend Dawn sent me a couple projects patterns that she had. She had accidentally, I think you bought them. Is that what you said? You bought them even though you already had them. So these are Stony Creek Collections Birds of the Month. So the first one is May, and it's the Eastern Bluebird. Isn't that cute? Look at that button. It doesn't come with the button or anything. It's just the chart, but look at that. Isn't that adorable? And if you didn't, you could collect them all. Or if you didn't want to put the month on, it's easy enough to leave that out. I think that's just so pretty. So if you want to enter to win this, don't say giveaway or free or anything like that. You can just say something about Bluebird. And thank you, Dawn, so much for sending these so that we can give them away. And then the next one is the December Cardinal, Northern Cardinal. Isn't that beautiful? Oh, he's so cute. And so say something Cardinal. Say something about Cardinal if you want a chance to win that. So those are the 2 giveaways for this coming week. Yeah, so that's what we have for giveaways. This week's going to be really busy. Things are going to get really busy for a couple weeks, and I'll explain more in a couple weeks. But things are going to get hectic around here, so I'm just kind of slowing down the giveaways for just a little bit, just temporarily. So plans are continue working on spring at Hawk Run Hollow. Work on the temperature tree. And then we're doing a new start today. That's why I know new starts this week. But today is the first day of summer. I'm so sorry I didn't say anything at the start of this. Happy summer. It is a rainy, dreary day here, so it does not feel like summer, which I am okay with. Summer is probably my least favorite month. But to make it a little more palatable, I'm joining in Garan. They are doing a stitch along with Summer Quaker by Rosewood Manor. So this is the Summer Quaker bag. I don't think it's available anymore, but this is the bag that Ronnie and Gary designed to go along, see the bees in there, with Summer Quaker. So this is going to be tonight's start. And this kind of snuck up on me too, even though I knew, you know when the date is, but it just kind of got here faster. And of course I have the matching 11 by 11 grime guard and the matching mini bag. And this is what it will look like. So this is Summer Quakers by Rosewood Manor. It's going to be gorgeous. Pictures just don't do it justice. And so I have the called for Picture This Plus Truffle in 28 count linen. Let me see if I can open it for you, give you a little bit better. Oh, yeah. It's very pink. It's not showing up as pink. It's showing up more washed out. It's quite pink. So it's very, very pretty fabric. And I got the matching needle minder because I have to have everything as a kit. Okay. And then I'm using the Valdani threads. Now the Valdani threads, I talked about this before, but you use it as it comes off the skein. So it's 3 strands and you use all 3 strands. So that will be just gorgeous. I haven't even looked at the pattern yet. I'm telling you, this just snuck up on me. So I'm probably starting in the upper left corner. That's where I started Spring Quaker, although I don't even have the first motif done, but you know. So we will look for that. And this one, I just plan on stitching on it tonight, and then I'm going to kind of put it away because I really do want to focus on Hawk Run Hollow Spring. And this will go on my Whipco board. I can't remember if it's this year or maybe next year I have it planned out for. Yes, I have. 2021 is already planned out. Not entirely, but somewhat. The Whipco board is anyway. So I can't remember if it's on my Whipco for this year or definitely for next year. I can't remember if I have it for, I think I have spring on for this year, but not summer. So I'll start it tonight and then I'll kind of just put it away until next year when it gets its turn. Because as you know, there's a lot going on. So those are my plans for this coming week. And next week, I will be doing my mid-year whip parade. So there It might be up a little bit later than normal, depending on what's going on. I have some people who will be in the house doing some work inside the house, so I won't be able to film then Saturday morning and whatnot when I usually do film. So it might be a little bit later. I'm hoping for Saturday afternoon, but it might not, depending, because it's going to be a long one. So depending, it might not be up until Sunday, but rest assured it will be coming. And several of you said that you did want a flip through of the August Just Cross Stitch magazine. So I will be doing that. I might, in fact, just film that right after this and post it, so you'll have a couple videos to watch. Other than that, I hope you're all doing well. I hope you're staying safe when you're out and about. I know things are opening up in a lot of places now. So be safe and take good care of yourselves. Bye.